Fire line, the main actions: protraction of the scapula, flexion of the spine and rotation of the spine, flexion of the opposite hip. And so what it brings us into, if you notice, is the twisting position, and can be very useful for many yoga postures, of course, and we'll go over some of them now. Instead of kind of sinking down like this, you're gonna pull your front ribs in, okay? So this flexion of the spine is a big piece of the puzzle to the fire line. That cross-body connection happens through the oblique muscles, okay? That's the core muscles that create, or the abdominal muscles that create that cross-body connection. But to create the cross-body connection, when you activate your obliques, you actually create flexion of the spine. So we wanna make sure that, of course, we have flexion of the spine, rounding of the back, and then protraction of the scapula. So remove your hands from your thighs and separate your shoulder blades like you're holding a big ball. Reach the center of the ball forward, I suppose, and then rotate. We add the rotation on. Rotate your chest, your spine really, to the right. Now it can be confusing because your arms will want to move like this. Okay, that's not the same as rotating. In fact, it might be beneficial. Place your 2 fingers on your sternum like this so that you're not tempted to move your shoulders, but you're actually moving your spinal column. Pull the front ribs back, so flexion of the spine, rounding the back leg straight, and rotate. Twist, rotate, left hand back, right forward. Now, as you do this, back leg will tend to bend, straighten it out nice and strong, and pull the midsection back into a rounded position. Keep it. Flex the spine, so round the spine to reach down. Don't collapse with your pelvis, okay? It's not the same action. Collapsing is not gonna create the coordination. Pull the ribs back and round the spine to reach the right hand down, left hand up. Ribs back, pelvis tucked. Left knee tries to stay over the heel. Back leg straight and strong. Press your right foot down and drag it forward. Again, pubic bone lifts up, so tailbone tucks. Ribs back, rounding the spine. Bend the knees, chair pose. Exhale, twist. Except when you do this, you take your fingers to your sternum, pull the ribs back and round the spine and rotate. This time, you're not gonna touch elbow to thigh at all. You'll just keep your tailbone tucked, rounded back, sternum rotating. Think about left shoulder blade protracting, serratus anterior, rib cage pulling back, flexion of the spine, that's both sides of the obliques. And rotating is created from your left obliques to your right obliques, activating. All right, let's do that same chair pose that we did, revolved chair, except we're gonna add on the hip flexors. So I mentioned we've got serratus, creates the protraction of the scapula. We've got external obliques initiating the flexion of the spine and rotation. Internal obliques will carry that rotation to the opposite hip. And then we try to bring this thigh bone and pelvis across as well using the hip flexors on the opposite side. So to do that, start taking your fingertips to the sternum, rounding the spine, separating the shoulder blades. Bend the knees with a tucked tailbone. Okay, so opposite of what I usually would offer. Rotate, rotate, rotate. And now, once you've rotated the maximum amount, make sure your knees are not twisting, but they're straight ahead. And then you're gonna lean into your left foot so your right heel comes up and pin right knee to left elbow. Push left elbow and knee into each other while pulling your ribs back, and you're gonna start to feel your right internal obliques there. Now, here's the trick here. There's 2 ways to get down into a twist. You can fall down using gravity, or you can flex your way down. So watch that. So falling down, placing my torso on my thigh, rounding, flexing my way down. Okay, see, I'm resisting the falling. I'm actually pulling my midsection back. And then here's where I like to make the fists. Left hand reaches down to the right. Right hand reaches up. So come back, block squeeze between shin, lift up, lean to your left buttocks, and then reach, pull the knee in tight, and reach past your feet if you can. Now there's my right hip flexors, hello. Okay, come back. I'll lift my knees up and I'll pull my knees to the opposite. So right knee to opposite elbow, left knee, opposite elbow. So I grip the ground, lean forward, separate the shoulder blades, lift the knees up, slide, try to touch my elbow, back, slide opposite, try to touch the elbow. And when I'm doing that, trying to keep the weight in the hands again. And you take your hands off to the side. And you could start low like this, like I am here, and your arms go way off to the side. And you see how wide my right hand is? I can't even really touch the ground over there with my full palm. So once I get here, I'm trying to get my left knee up high. Sorry, right knee up high on the left elbow. And then I lean over, I lift my butt up high and lean over into the far hand. But that right elbow is completely free, nothing's touching it. And then I squeeze my knees up towards left armpit, lean forward, and I pull left knee or right knee tight towards left armpit.